Hi guys, I'm Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to recommend you some short books to read. What I mean by short books is books under 300 pages. So most books will be over 200 pages, but I still consider that short. I'm again wearing my glasses. I wasn't planning on filming with glasses, but you know, the sun, my eyes really can't stand it if it's shining in my eyes like that. So I'm sorry, I can't really see my eyes and I hate that. But when the sun is gone, I will remove my glasses, but otherwise I will film with my glasses on. I'm really sorry. And I also drank too much last night, so it's kind of fortunate that I can wear my glasses right now. So the first book that I'm going to recommend to you is actually a poetry collection, and that's Love and Misadventure by Leav. I've never read a poetry collection before. Before I read Love and Misadventure, and I don't know how I stumbled upon this, but I think I was scrolling on the internet, I was looking through books to buy, and I found this poetry collection and I thought the cover was really cute. So I picked it up and I started reading it, and these poems are very simple, but they are still so true, and I could really relate to these poems. I thought they were very relatable for anyone really, and I know people criticize Leav's poems because they are so simple and they think they can write those poems themselves, but I thought the beauty of these poems was within the simplicity of it, and I really liked it. And if you want to read poetry about love and relatable situations, I think this would be a very good place to start, because it is very comprehensible poetry. You have poetry, it's like really abstract and you don't really get what it's about. I have that at least, and I didn't have that with Love and Misadventure. Second book I'm going to recommend is one by one of my favorite authors, which is Benjamin Alire Sáenz. To me, I don't think the beauty in his books are within the story, but I think it is in the way he words his sentences and the way he manages to create these beautiful quotes and that are so quotable and so relatable, and these complex characters that you can relate to in one way or another. But also he writes books that have recurring themes like being gay and dealing with being gay, and his characters, his male characters specifically, are very much the same sometimes. I noticed that is a pattern within his books, but this book, there is homosexuality in this book, but it isn't with the main character, I believe. But he is a very typical main character for Benjamin Alire Sáenz. I think he bases his characters on himself, if I'm being honest, because Benjamin Alire Sáenz is Mexican American and he is gay himself, and his characters are mostly Mexican American and gay, and they are sleeping around most of the time. They don't really know how to deal with themselves. They are very closed off. They are very depressed, and I think that is a reflection of Benjamin's past, but I don't know that. I obviously don't know the man, but I think because it is such a recurring theme, I think it is based on his own life. The book I'm going to recommend is a book I read recently, and that's the season 4 Fireflies by Maizel. I received this book for review and I honestly really loved it. I gave it 4 stars, and it's about a girl who gets hit by a thunderbolt and gets amnesia. You see the pattern here, last book amnesia, this book amnesia. And she doesn't remember the last year of her life. But in that year, a lot happened. She had other friends before that year who she dropped for her new friend Kylie and her new friend group, but she doesn't remember Kylie and she doesn't remember her new friend group, but she does remember her old friends and being in theatre, but she has quit theatre, you know, and she doesn't remember that, and her old friends are really mad at her for forgetting them, but they also can't blame her really, because she can't even remember what she did and why she did it. I thought this was a very unique premise for a YA novel, someone getting hit by a thunderbolt and getting amnesia and having to refigure out their life. I really liked this one, and I thought it was very accurate because she didn't really remember anything, and the author was being consistent with that. Next book I'm going to recommend is a Peter Pan retelling, and that is Stars. It is the first book in the Wendy Darling trilogy by Colleen. And I read Peter Pan this year, and I honestly can say I didn't really like it. I think I rated it 2 stars, and it really wasn't what I expected of it at all. And I read this retelling by Colleen, and she has written it the way I imagined it would be. J.M. Barrie has written Peter Pan and Wendy Darling as if they were siblings. Peter Pan looked upon Wendy as if she was his big sister or his mother or whatever. And that was not what I imagined it would be. I very much imagined a romance, but that wasn't what I got at all. Peter Pan was very immature and unlikable, but he wasn't really scary. And then I read Stars by Colleen Oakes, and Peter Pan was very scary and very dangerous, and there was a romance between Peter Pan and Wendy Darling. It was all great and amazing at first, but it slowly spiraled out of control. And I really like this one much more than Peter Pan. I would honestly say skip Peter Pan and read Stars by Colleen Oakes. It was such a great story, and it was much better than the original tale in my opinion. Then I'm going to recommend Away We Go by Emil Ostrovski. This is a new release from this year, and I compare Emil Ostrovski's writing style to Benjamin Alire Sáenz's writing style, but only a bit more pretentious because I sometimes think the author doesn't even know what he's saying himself. But I love this. It hit me in the feels and I cried, and I think it just came around at the right time. But this book is about a gay character who has a girlfriend, and he is in love with someone at his boarding school. They also all have PPV, which is Peter Pan virus, and they are all slowly dying. There's no cure. They are at his boarding school for people who won't make it past graduation. And Noah, who's the main character, falls in love with this guy at his boarding school, and he's basically cheating on his girlfriend throughout the whole book. And I hate cheating in books. I'm not forgiving of cheaters, and I wasn't forgiving of Noah, but I did think he was a likable character. He didn't know who he was. He was kind of in a bind because the guy he liked wasn't really liking him back. And I thought it was kind of a mindfuck book, but I honestly really loved it. Things happened that I didn't expect to happen, and I know a lot of people rated this lower than I did. I think I rated it 5 stars, but this has a very low average rating, and I don't know what happened there. I don't know why other people didn't like it as much as I did, but I don't want to rate reviews because this book, I think, just came around at the right time, and I would really like it if you would give it a chance as well, if the premise sounds interesting to you. And the last book I'm going to recommend is The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is the first book in the Summer trilogy by Jenny Han. I have read almost all books by Jenny Han, and I think The Summer I Turned Pretty was the first book I read by her. And this whole trilogy was so addictive, and I got through it so quickly. The main character is a girl called Belly, and she goes to this beach house every summer with her mother, and it's basically these two families. Her mother is friends with another woman, and she has 2 sons, Jeremiah and Conrad, and Belly, the main character, is in love with Conrad. She has been since forever, and it's not only about the romance between Belly and Conrad, and it's just about so much more. It's about family dynamics and having problems throughout the year and not speaking to someone for a year and then seeing them in the summer and being totally different. And I honestly think this was what got me into contemporary. I really love this. I think it's the first contemporary I remember reading, and I would really recommend it to you because a lot of people like this trilogy, and I think Jenny Han is a great writer, but I think this trilogy is my favourite writing of hers. These are my recommendations for short books. They're all under 300 pages. Let me know down below your recommendations for short books. Have you read any of the books I just recommended? Let me know what you thought of them down below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!